Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, we've been saying for quite some time now that this COVID inquiry is likely, alas, to turn out just to be a cover-up and a whitewash. And it seems others are picking up on that as well. And it is all to do with the deletion of all the messages, of course. The important thing is, when were they deleted? And also, a question that needs to be asked is, why is it apparently official government policy that messages were to be deleted every month, rather than retained for future reference just in case something went wrong? It's almost as though they knew in advance that these things would come back and haunt them. It reminds me very much of back in 1997, where the very, very first thing New Labour did when they came to power, and I mean literally the very first thing, was to remove the death penalty for treason. It's almost as though Tony Blair knew exactly what he was going to do in the following few years. But we'll take a look at this, see what's going on and see why so much of these messages that have been deleted are throwing up so many problems now for the SNP. Problems that may even end up in criminal cases. We want to hope so. And also we ask if we can possibly get these things back from Meta. But it's something that needs to be sort of gone into and looked at as expansively as possible, which we will do. Here goes. So SNP's monthly message deletion rule could lead to COVID inquiry whitewash amid hunt for wiped WhatsApps. Now, why would a government bring in a rule that said, oh no, you must delete these every month. You must delete these every month. It seems to go against the sort of the principle of keeping records. But we know it's because they knew in advance that they were going to do some really shady shit. And shady shit they did. Lots of it. And that's why, of course, they had to delete everything. They cannot afford to have the truth out there. They cannot afford for the truth to come out. That's an odd picture. She's looking like Peter Murrell in that picture. Bad enough looking like Nicola Sturgeon. Look like Peter Murrell. God help you. Anyway, questions have been asked about whether key pandemic figures like Nicola Sturgeon deleted their WhatsApp messages despite calling for an inquiry in 2020, as Scottish Government rules said to do so. Yeah, she calls for an inquiry and then makes sure that everyone deletes everything going forward from that point, because she doesn't want the inquiry to ever discover what was said, what was done, the decisions arrived at, because they knew that this would end up with them being, jailed for the rest of their lives probably. Anyway, the SNP's executive policy to delete mobile messages every month has led to fears it could cause a COVID inquiry whitewash, as grieving Scots families will fail to get answers. The Scottish Government admitted that any correspondence they deemed to be unimportant was wiped each month. Of course, what they define as unimportant may not be what we define as unimportant. It has led to complaints from the UK COVID inquiry, who want to see how decisions during the pandemic in Scotland were made. Deputy First Minister Shona Robertson confirmed on Tuesday that they'd be sending an extra 14,000, mainly WhatsApp messages to the probe, none of which will be in the least bit interesting. They will have been filtered, sifted, had anything incriminating removed, and only then allowed to go through, so that they can sit there and go, oh look, we've got all this information, but there'll be nothing in it. She could not verify whether these included ones from the likes of Nicola Sturgeon. They won't. Sturgeons have been wiped clean. She's washed her hands of everything, of all the ill deeds badly done at night, Ministers continue to wipe social media texts after a month, even after it was reported that an inquiry would be commenced to investigate the pandemic. And at that point, they shouldn't have been, deleting them at all. But at that point, they definitely shouldn't have been deleting them. They were then hit with a do not destroy order in the summer last year, meaning that if relevant messages were wiped after this, officials could face legal action. And you can guarantee they still were. And any that's been found to be deleted, it's an automatic contempt of court. And there's no end of jail time for that one. The Scottish Government was condemned by the Council to the UK COVID inquiry, Jamie Dawson, for failing to hand over relevant correspondence, with only one person providing a cache of information which proved that decisions were made through messaging apps such as WhatsApp. And we believe that one person, of course, is who we mentioned earlier, Kate Forbes. He said that generally very few messages appear to have been retained, and that they were seeking a Section 21 order to ensure that what they sought was handed over as soon as possible. And he added that the Scottish Government has provided the inquiry with no WhatsApp or other informal messaging material, either in its own possession or in the possession of other individuals, despite the official requests being made. But of course they won't. They know this is the thing that will break them. This is the thing that will send them all to jail for a very long time. So of course you're not going to get anything. According to the KC, they asked about 70 key government figures for these messages, including Miss Sturgeon and the two top medical professionals at the time, Jason Leach and Gregor Smith. But concerns have been raised that the potentially vital correspondence had been deleted since May 2020, when the former First Minister said there'll be a public inquiry launched. Yeah, didn't want that information coming out at all, did you? She claimed to journalists on Tuesday that she had nothing to hide, which is obviously a complete and utter lie, because everything she says is a complete and utter lie. A woman can't even lie straight in bed. But she refused to say whether she'd wiped her phone during the time period, which the decisions were being made. Because she's refusing to say, it means yes, of course, undoubtedly, she wiped everything. Everything had to go. Everything was dangerous to her. It's led to accusations that the SNP are orchestrating a whitewash, with Scottish Tory leader Douglas Ross saying the monthly deletion policy is all too convenient and paves the way for an SNP whitewash. Yeah, and why? Why? Ask them why there was this monthly deletion policy. There's no reason to delete these things. It's not as though, WhatsApp is running out of storage area. Why would you delete them if it wasn't for nefarious reasons? Scottish Labour Deputy Leader Jackie Bailey told the Scottish Sun serious questions need to be asked of the Scottish Government about how its guidance complied with the needs of the inquiries. The deliberate secrecy has paved the way for a whitewash and has played a cruel joke on bereaved families who deserve to know the truth. There shall be no truth. That is the only truth in the SNP, that there will be no truth. Scott Lib Dem leader Alex Cole-Hamilton said any policy that allowed details of discussion to be deleted was inappropriate at best and at worst an attempt to whitewash the public record. The record that would have sent them to jail, of course. The SNP government republished their governance rules this week, following accusations that Humza Yousaf was not telling the truth when he said it was their policy to wipe messages, but he'd kept his own ones. It read that the messages relevant to its business or its legal obligations should be recorded before being wiped. Should. Not must. Should. Therefore, that's how they're going to get out of it. They're never going to tell the truth. All those people dying, all so she could look and feel important, all because she wanted to push independence and perhaps murder 5,500 people who may have voted for the Union rather than for independence, had to be conveniently got rid of. It was politically expedient to do so, and so instructions were probably given. But we will never know. I hate that woman with every ounce of being I have. She's a soulless monster. Anyway, I shall stop there and I shall come up. Seems clear that they knew, always knew, that there would be questions over everything that happened and that they had to absolutely ensure there was no way anything could come back and bite them. It's cynical and it's destructive, but we wouldn't expect anything less from the likes of the SNP under Sturgeon. No humanity, is there? None at all. Still, you get what you pay for, and the people of Scotland keep voting for the SNP. Seems not so much next time, though. Looks like they kind of may be finished. Certainly for a while. We want to hope so. Anyway, I'll stop there. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit that subscribe button. It's very important to the channel that you do. Hit the like button. Please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and we will hopefully one day see a true resolution that will satisfy most people with Nicola Sturgeon behind bars. Bye.